Hello, my name is Lois Ancestral. Do you want to do something creative together, or maybe you can just put this video on in the background of whatever you would like to do, and we can do it together. We can hang out, we can chill, we can vibe. So I wanted to do some scrapbooking today because that is what was calling to me, and it feels really nice to let myself do something that I just want to do because I want to do it. And while I was doing it, I noticed some interesting wisdom coming to me in my flow state, and that's what made me want to press record and invite you into the experience as I carry on doing what I'm doing and just see what wants to come through, if it does. So yeah, this is my scrapbook so far. This is about shining the light of consciousness onto everything, onto the shadow, and then I've also written the word win-win. And interestingly, I found this picture, which is a house, and it's a picture of the house from the outside. And without thinking, I saw this picture. Well, I did think, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought, that represents the house with the garden that I want to move to. And then I thought nothing more of it. And then I found myself searching for houses with a new perspective and a new idea about a possible place that I could move to. And then afterwards, I connected the dots between this image and then the inspiration that I got to move on to the next part of synchronicity. And then it helped me to see that what happened was connected. And the important thing that I found is to be open to how something can unfold, like to allow desire to guide you, and at the same time open to the unfolding and the surprise that can happen, and kind of fitting the pieces together as we go along. Speaking of fitting pieces together as we go along, what do I want to put on my scrapbook next? I'm gonna read you one of these poems because they are made of nonsense. Okay, so these are some stickers that I probably got on Amazon or something like this, and I think it's safe to say that they were not written by English people, nor were they written by people who knew how to speak English in a sensical way. So here is the poem. I heard the music from TH, and then E is on a separate line, so like from moon and carcass. Auxiliary extreme aestheticism, bait to capture misty, filling the intense life, but also filling the pure. There are always memories throughout the earth. I believe I am died. As the quiet beauty of autumn leaves, Sheng is not chaos. Smoke gesture, even wilt also retained bone proudly. Qing Feng muscle, occult. Yes, I understand now. The meaning of life was conveyed to me. So the next one. Here I stand in Bressanon with the stars up in the sky. Are they shining over Brenner and upon the other side? You would be a sweet surrender. I must go the other way, and my train will carry me onward, though my heart would certainly stay. Whoa, my heart would surely stay. Mao, the clouds are flying by me, and the moon is the rise. I have left stars behind me. Okay, that one wasn't quite as nonsensical as the first one, but still very interesting to say the least. So it's safe to say I'm not using that one in my scrapbook. I'm going to use maybe the one that says, I love three things in this world: sun, moon, and you. Sun for morning, moon for night, and you forever. And then we have stay curious, twinkle, twinkle, little star, a poem about the moon peeping in through the curtains. Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. These made sense enough for me to want to include them. Just also welcoming into this space any shame that might be being felt, any sense of like something is wrong, I'm doing something wrong, I am wrong, you are wrong, they are wrong, this kind of thing. Just allowing shame to be there and being in relationship with that rather than accidentally being identified with that. So just noticing that, and that can be enough just to observe that and feel that. And to lovingly remind ourselves that it's not possible to get it wrong, considering that our job is to be ourselves. In my life right now, I am playing with the way I relate with the things that I do and pushing the boundaries gently and lovingly as to what I allow myself to do and why. So, for example, I felt that I was in a frustrated position of trying to get particular kind of results because I believed that that was the way to get those results. And then I recognized actually that way of getting that thing is not working. And so in essence, what is the risk of allowing myself to choose to do something because it excites me without any guarantee of any kind of results? And then I began to hear voices inside my head that sound like the things that I was taught growing up about making money, being responsible, being lazy, being childish, and all of these things, and recognizing that those echoes inside of me often influence the way I organize my day and what I decide to do. Because I had some beliefs that just allowing me to choose me and flow in my authentic expression of what I want to do, not knowing where that's going to lead, and that I'm giving myself permission to do that. Because deep down, I know that I have that permission. And what I was doing anyway to try to control the way things unfolded wasn't even working. And so I understood that the people who told me that didn't know how to do me or what I needed, of course, because they're not me. And so perhaps my true impulse of what I feel like doing could be what I am meant to, able to, can choose to follow because I prefer that. And why do I get to choose what I prefer? Because I prefer it. I prefer the way I choose to relate with things. I prefer the things I choose to do and the reasons that I choose to do them. I prefer the way that I organize my life rather than the way that others think I should organize my life. And where we have a beautiful possibility is when people come together who all value each other's authenticity and are interested in finding harmony as a group that considers everyone and moves synchronistically and miraculously and collaboratively in ways that feel right and also are best for, most nourishing and need meeting for everyone involved. So that is why I wrote win-win on the scrapbook that I have not actually stuck anything on since I started the video. There is one of these stickers that says, "Let's smile." And because I was told that a lot growing up, I feel actually some pain when I read that because I associate it with being told to smile when I didn't feel like smiling. And so, to honor that part of me in this moment, we're not going to stick "let's smile." However, if we feel like smiling, we can smile. And if we don't feel like smiling, we don't have to smile. I believe in allowing ourselves to feel how we feel and choosing care when care is needed and celebrating when celebration is needed and not forcing one when the other is needed. And if it's a moment for both, that is also okay. I am in the practice of allowing all of who I am and finding a win-win way of being that between all parts of myself in the way that feels right for me. And what's important to me is the quality of the relationships that I have and the care that is possible and necessary between beings and natural. Everything starts with a dream, and my dream is of beautiful, loving, harmonious relationships between beings. Ones that don't require us to be perfect, while also holding us accountable, holding us accountable for doing the best we can. I don't know how to get this off. Here's a sticker, right? There we go. I didn't decide where to stick this before I unpeel it. Where do you want to live? Okay. Here. I have this little technique of putting a dry piece of paper on this and flattening it down. It's quite satisfying. If you can feel the pain that exists between us in our relationships as people, the trauma and the dysfunctional patterns and things like this, as well as if you can sense the potential of how we could relate, how we may practice and actualize the full potential of human relationships and the way that we relate with everything as co-creators, and you want to show up in your relationships with yourself and also with others in the best way that you possibly can, then I've created a Human Relationships Masterclass with 6 simple, easy, powerful steps that you can implement into any relationship to give you a really solid, healthy foundation to build your relationships from. So if you would like to receive the wisdom and the gift of that, and you're interested in having that as a tool in your toolkit, then I will leave that link in the description box, and you can find that. That's my Human Relationships Masterclass over on Patreon. So if you resonate with that and you need that tool and you want to be a part of us treating ourselves and each other in ways that we deserve to be treated, in ways that are conducive to our thriving and our quality of life, then I encourage you to click on it, check it out, read more, see if it calls to you. If it calls to you, trust that, and if it doesn't in this moment, that's also okay. Stay curious. In order to find win-wins with parts of ourselves and with other people, there is an element of staying curious, staying open to possibility, to what could be, to the unknown, to experimentation, to seeing if it might work, to looking at our beliefs about why it's not possible, or why it is possible, or why it's not what we want, or why it is what we want. What I see with many people and their understanding of win-wins is that there can be confusion in the definition. and also confusion about the exchange element of the relationship. So I see confusion around it being possible to not have the exchange element in a relationship, to bypass reciprocity and the meeting of needs and things like this. In a healthy relationship, it's necessary to be conscious about the exchange element of human relationships, which is very natural part that we have an energy exchange, and it's to be upfront about our needs and to understand ourselves and to help each other to understand and to have above board the kinds of energy exchanges that we want to make and practice win-wins with the way that we exchange energy, and looking at our mechanisms that make us play zero-sum games, or that we choose to play zero-sum games because of. And these are things like, if I don't defend my need only or my best interest only, then I'm gonna lose. If I open to a win-win, I'm gonna lose. I see this a lot. That's almost like saying pizza is ice cream. Because if a win-win means you're going to lose, then pizza is ice cream. Because a win-win is a win-win, meaning everyone wins. A zero-sum game is about everyone losing, actually. So zero-sum game is about losing. Win-win is about winning. Pizza, ice cream. So if the win-win is about losing, that's the same as pizza being ice cream. It's a different thing. Do you feel me? So that's some confusion that I see, that there can be a misinterpretation and a misunderstanding about what a win-win is. And that can make people not open to it, because a lot of us have not had the experience of, I get to have me and have you too in a relationship. It's a new way, a third possibility, or however many people are involved. It's like everybody's best interest plus another possibility, which is the win-win. So if I need A and you need B, we might find that X could happen, which would be a win-win. Just taking a moment now to allow however we feel, and then it's okay to feel however you feel. Maybe taking some breaths in whatever you're doing. Maybe inviting a little more body mindfulness if that feels right for you. Everything suggested is an invitation, of course. You are the one with your power and your free will and your internal compass within. The way that I see it, it is always about honoring the free will, authenticity, inner wisdom, and inner authority of each person, and learning and practicing how to consider each other and collaborate in meaningful ways that are attuned, receptive, responsive, focused on and open to understanding, consideration. the building of trust. By the way, I also have another channel, which is my music channel, Lois Ancestral Music. So if you are interested in hearing some of my music, seeing what the vibe is over there, then I will link my latest song that I have written, recorded, produced, mixed, mastered, and released on the screen now. I'm also often working on new music these days, so watch this space for more music too. Or watch that space, you know. Thank you for being here, for hanging out with me, for being open and amazing and brave. Thank you for crossing my path, for following synchronicity to this encounter. I've enjoyed being with you and also moving through some more painful emotions in moments where that may have happened. Everything is allowed when we're together, and there is no way that you could be that is inherently wrong. It's possible to feel that way, yes. I believe it's about learning to care and consider each other and understand each other, much more so than it is about making anything wrong. I believe that it's much safer that way. So, thank you for dreaming of more while also loving what is. Take care of yourself in the best way that you can, if you want to. And I will see you soon. Bye for now. Much love. Namaste.